friends, this is the Mrs. Wolfie from our Half Acre Homestead, and I'm going to show you how to make a festive holiday dinner for one. Now, not everybody has a huge family to have a festive holiday, Thanksgiving, Christmas dinner with. Just because there's just you or just you and your partner, it doesn't mean you can't have a nice holiday meal. Now, for argument's sake, this is a jar of turkey. It's really not. It's a rabbit, but it's in broth, so you're going to need a pint to a quart, depending, a quart for two, a pint for one, of turkey, chicken, or whatever, but let's say turkey in broth. You're going to need an extra cup of broth. You're going to need 2 sausage patties. These are my homestead sausage patties, and I'm just going to fry these up and break them up. I have a half a cup of minced onion and celery, and I've got about 3 cups of bread cubes, and I'm going to do all the seasoning in a minute. And you're going to need a cake pan. Let's start with our meat. If you have a big turkey and you have a pressure canner, you go on up and pressure can it. If you don't have a pressure canner, then you go ahead and cook that turkey and make a broth, save the broth, freeze it up in portions. Well, getting a rabbit out of a jar is kind of like getting a rabbit out of a hat. Now this rabbit is bone in, so we're going to have to debone it. All right, there's our meat. Let's do our stuffing, because let's face it, folks, it's all about the stuffing. Here we have about 3 cups of bread cubes. I'm going to add just about a half a teaspoon of poultry seasoning. And here I have my piece of bacon that was cooked in the jar with the rabbit, because it really does make the rabbit taste oh so much better. My 2 sausage patties that I fried, and my half a cup of minced onion and celery. Let's just take the bones out of here, make sure there's none, and we're going to drop this right into that broth. Because honestly, aside from the seasonings and the sausage, what really gives the stuffing the flavor is the juice from the turkey. So here we have the juice from our rabbit. And remember, I have a 1 cup jar of broth that we're going to save for gravy. And now we're just going to put our stuffing alongside our meat. And Bob's your uncle. There is your turkey dinner. Now we're just going to take a piece of tin foil. Now folks, because this meat is cooked, it's not going to take long. The sausage is cooked, the bacon is cooked, the meat is cooked, it's all got broth. It's only going to take about 30-40 minutes at most. I'm going to get out a couple of Duchess potatoes to put on the side to bake in the oven. But let's make an individual pumpkin pie, because what is a Christmas or Thanksgiving dinner without pumpkin pie, eh, Papa? Anyway, I'll meet you over at the counter and we're going to make a pie. Okay, let's start with our pastry for our pie. You're going to need 3/4 of a cup of flour. You're going to need a little pie tin like this, and it's a nice deep one. 2 teaspoons of butter, 2 teaspoons of lard, and a couple of tablespoons of cold water. But first, let's take our butter and our lard and work it into our flour. And then we're just going to drop in about a tablespoon of cold water. Always start with a little. So we're going to add another tablespoon of water. So we're going to say 2 tablespoons of water. We're not going to overwork our dough. We're just going to make sure it's all incorporated with the flour. Let's get some flour on our cloth and get out our little rolling pin. Alright, so here's our little pie shell. Let's go ahead and make our filling. For that, you're going to need 1 egg, a 1/4 cup of evaporated milk or heavy cream, a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of dehydrated pumpkin, and I mean 1 tablespoon. And to this, we're going to add about a 1/2 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. Now, while we're waiting for our water to boil for our pumpkin, let's go ahead and work on the rest of the filling. I have preheated my oven to 375 degrees, and in it I have popped in our meat and stuffing. Let's just take this egg and beat that up a little bit. Let's take our 1/4 cup of evaporated milk or heavy cream and our 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And I've also popped my little pie shell into the freezer to firm up. Now, our pie is not going to take more than 35 minutes, and neither are our Duchess potatoes. These are frozen. I've taken them out of my Duchess potatoes that I made and set aside for Christmas. And I put a piece of parchment on a pizza pan, because that's where our little pie is going to go too. So let's take a 1/4 cup of boiling water and just drop that in to that dehydrated pumpkin and those spices. Oh, it smells heavenly, I'm telling you. And immediately, because I've used boiling water, immediately my pumpkin has rehydrated and the spices are mixed right in. Okay, now let's go ahead and put our egg, our milk, and our sugar mixture in there. Cowgirl's too big for this job. Here's our little pie shell. And it's quite deep. It's about 2.5 inches deep. And we're just going to very carefully pour our pie filling right in there. Remember, folks, always leave a good 1/2 inch because this is going to swell because of the egg content. There is our oven up to 375 degrees. And we're going to pop this in alongside our meat and stuffing. Okay, in this saucepan, I have a tablespoon of flour and a tablespoon of butter. And we're just going to melt that together. And we're going to take our cup of broth. This is chicken broth. And we're just going to whip this together and cook it till it thickens. All right, we'll see you guys at the dinner table. Now, isn't that lovely? And for once, we don't have to wait for Papa to get to the table. There's some home canned green beans, some Duchess potatoes. There's our little pie, our gravy. Look at that. Now the meat is on here and the stuffing's on here. You don't have to pick it off the tin foil, dear. I'm sure there's plenty. Now, that's rabbit.
It's all dark meat?
Pretty much. You in heaven? Mm-hmm. Who needs stovetop stuffing, eh?
Who needs it?
You gotta put gravy on that. Oh my goodness. This is a precursor to Christmas dinner. It's not turkey, it's rabbit, but...
It's rabbit. It's very good.
What about the stuffing?
Very festive. Stuffing's great too.
You mean you already ate some?
Yeah, with that bite.
All right. Well, that didn't go far. Papa's going to have his pumpkin pie. This, technically, this little pie would feed 2 people. Or 1 Papa. Are you going to share that?
Maybe.
Watch it, it's hot, honey. That came out of that little pie shell really nice and...
Just like pumpkin pie.
Oh, it is pumpkin pie. This is the Wolfies from our half-acre homestead saying, Happy Holidays. May you be safe, warm, and among those you love. Bye-bye.